What's up, everyone? Today is day 13 of 100 Days of Code, and we're going to be going through part 3 of our to-do list API using Express. So let's get developing. Alright, everyone, so let's get ready to get back into creating this API. And as you can see, everything is still the same as yesterday. I have the todo.js file in here, which is bringing in some to-dos, and we have our Git routes here that are bringing in all the to-dos, and one bringing in a single to-do, and we have the app running already, so the server is listening on port 3000. So if we go over to our Postman app, and inside the Git response area there, type in http / localhost 3000 / API and hit send. It'll show us the 3 to-dos that we have in our todo.js file. And also as well, if we go over to another tab and type in http / localhost 3000 / API / 2, for instance, and hit send. It'll give us back our second to do in the list. So now that we got that working, we need to go ahead and figure out how to do the rest of the different things that we want to do with to-do list application, which is add another to-do to the list, update a to-do, and delete a to-do. So let's go back to the code and get started on doing that. So right up underneath the last Git request we got here, we're going to do another type of request, and this one's going to be a post request. So we're going to go app.post, and this takes 2 parameters just like the other ones. The first parameter is going to be the route in which we want to go to, and it's going to be /API. And the next parameter is going to take a callback function, which as usual is going to take a rec for request and response. So you're probably wondering why we're doing API when we just got through doing the API with the Git request method. Well, a single route can have a request coming from each of the different request methods. So you can have one for post, put, and delete, and a get for /API as well. So now we got that out the way. What we want to do now is just respond with what the rec.body is going to bring for us. So if we save this, then go back over to Postman and make another tab, but this time it's going to be post to http:// localhost colon 3000 slash API. And we also want to do one more thing before we hit send. We want to make sure the headers have a content type, and we gotta set that to application JSON. And then we want to put something in the body simulating something coming in from a form or whatever. So we're gonna send in some JSON, and for now we'll just send in a title. New title. And then we'll send this, and we have a 200 response, meaning that it's okay, but we're not sending anything down here. So the reason why that's happening is because we need to enlist the use of middleware that Express provides for us that will parse the JSON from the body. And that's to do that, we're just gonna have to type app.use, and then we're gonna use express.body parse. No, I'm sorry, express.json. And this is going to enable us to enable Express to parse JSON from the body. So let's save that. Then go back to Postman and hit send. And there you go. Now Express is correctly sending back whatever's in the body. So now let's go ahead and see what we need to do to add another item to our to-do list. So back in code, what we want to do is we want to first check and see if anything's been sent through to the body. So right here we need to say if rec.body .title, and actually we want to do the inverse. We want to check and see if there's nothing sent to the body. So if it's blank, what we want to do is change the status code to 404. So res.status 404, and then we can send a JSON response back to the user, and we're gonna give them a message that the title is required. But if it so happens that there is a something coming through, and the user wishes to add another to-do to the list, then what we're gonna do is come down here and we have to update the ID. So we're gonna put const ID equals to-dos dot length +1. That's gonna make sure that the ID is always updated, and it always ends up in with the last ID. So if it's 3, it'll bring it to 4, and then we want to push. So to do dot push, and we want to push object back onto the list of to-do list. So in that object, we need a title, which is the rec dot body, as we found out. So let's see, what we have to do here is say rec dot body dot title, and then we also have a description. So we can put DSC, and the description is rec dot body dot description. Okay, then after that, we just need to send that to the user through rec.send. So let's say that. Then come back here, and instead of just putting a title, let's actually put a description in here, and we can say this is a new description. And then if we go ahead and send it, there you go. As you can see, it added it down to the bottom of the list, but it didn't add the ID. So let's go ahead and fix that. We have to make sure that the ID is located in here. So ID. And we've already defined that up here, so it should be able to know what the ID is. So let's save this. Oops, something happened here. What happened? It didn't like that we put ID right here. Alright, so we didn't need the quotes for that because it's a variable. So now let's save that. Alright, then go back and we'll send the same thing out, and let's see what happens. Okay, now it has the ID. So if we go to this first tab here, where we have our route that gets all of our to-dos, and we hit send on it now, we have 4. And if we come over here, we can also pick out that one we just added. Alright, so now that's taken care of. Now let's see what we need to do in order to update a to-do. To update a to-do, as you probably will guess, we need to create a put request. So coming down here, app.put, and as usual, it's going back to the API, but this time we need the ID. So we're gonna have to put another slash and a colon and ID. Now you can call that anything you want. You can call it to do ID. It's just gonna that's gonna be what Express looks for. It's gonna look for um, another variable or another um, item with the URL. So after a backslash. So now we still need the callback, which is gonna be a request response. And now, what we need to do is find out if the ID equals to the ID that they're passing is equal to an ID that's located within the to-do list. So in order to do that, we'll say const located, and we're gonna set that. We're gonna set that to the to-dos dot sum, which is another method that's within JavaScript, and it's gonna take a function, and we're gonna pass it the to do, and then we're looking for to do the to do ID, and we're gonna make sure that it's equal to whatever was passed in. So we need to go parse int request dot params dot ID. So what's going on here? What's this rec.params.id all about? What's this parse int all about? The parse int is we need to convert the ID from the parameter into an actual number, because what's stored inside of our to-do list is a number, but params that's coming from the URL or wherever is going to be sent as a string. So once we figure out whether or not the IDs are the same, or IDs are matching up within to-dos, now we can figure out what we need to do to now we can work with it. So if located is if located, if that's true, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another variable called updated to do, and equal the request dot body. Okay, so now we have to loop through all the to-dos. So to do dot for each, and this is a higher order function, and it takes a function. So to do, and now we need to say if to do dot id is equal to parse int request dot params dot id, we want to do something, and we want to say to do dot title and make it equal to the updated to do dot title, and we want to do that only if they're changing the title. And if they're not changing the title, it's going to stay the same. And then we want to do the same for the description. So to do dot description equals updated to do dot description, and we're going to check and see if they updated that. And if they did, we're going to take the updated description, and if not, it's going to stay the same. So else else what we want to do is send a message back to the user. So if now that went on, send a 404 message back to the user, and we're going to use backticks on this one because we want to pass through a variable, and we're going to tell them that to do with the ID of, and then we're going to pass in rec dot params dot ID. So to do with the ID of whatever was passed through, does not exist. Okay, so if we save this, we have an error. What's the error? Let's see. It says app dot we missed something here. There we go. Let's save that. Let's see if that made it happy. Alright, so now if we go over here, create another tab, and then we make a put request to http colon // localhost colon 3000 slash API slash, we'll change the first one, and then we'll change the header to content type application.json. That's what we're about to send. And in the body, we want to put raw JSON. So we're going to pass through the title, and then we're going to update the title. Say new title 1. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so we got the new title 1 changed. So let's see what happens when we send it. To do with the ID of undefined does not exist. What happened there? To do with ID of undefined does not exist. Let's see. If to do .id equals parsing request params.id, let's do something here. Let's just make this simple. Oh, hold on. No, I should be right. Let's say this. And try this again. Okay, so now we need to respond and send it to dos. So let's save that. So new title 1, we done it. And let's go back to the first one here and send it. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Now we successfully updated our to-dos. Now the last thing to do is to delete So let's go and handle that. In our code, what we want to do is go through and make the delete. So app.delete, and we're going to go for the route of API, and we're going to need to get the ID. So /:ID. Now we need to do the callback. So it's going to be rec and res. And then for the delete, it's going to be really simple. So it's practically just like this last get we done. So let's go ahead and copy it. Paste it in here. And the only thing we're going to change is we're not going to be looking for the same ID. We're going to be filtering out the ID that was passed in. So we want to get the to-do ID that's not the rec.params to ID, because we want to filter that one out. So if we save that, and then go back to our Postman app, instead of get, we need to delete to http://localhost:3000 API, and we'll get the first one. So we send this, bam, the first one is gone. And now we have a working to-do API using Express. Alright everyone, day 13 is now complete, and we have a working API using Express. But as I was saying, the file is getting a little bit convoluted, and tomorrow we'll go about showing you how to use different files in order to work with Express to make your application a little bit cleaner. But until then, if you haven't done so by now, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified the next time I drop a video. And as usual, you'll find the code for my videos on my GitHub page, which will be listed in the description below. And if you got any kind of value out of this video, I'd like you to give me a thumbs up. And until next time, keep developing.